Well, the Supreme Court will take on the TikTok ban. It will hear arguments next month on the constitutionality of the federal law that could ban TikTok here in the U.S. if its Chinese parent company does not sell it. Those hearings will be about a week before the law is due to take effect. For this and other questions, let's bring in Kris Ruby. Kris is the CEO of the Ruby Media Group. So first of all, Kris, should Chinese-based ByteDance divest from TikTok? Is it in the interest of national security? And can TikTok, as we know it, survive without ByteDance?
TikTok has always been a national security threat. So can TikTok survive? Perhaps, but I don't think it is likely. If it is banned, will people try and circumvent that ban with VPNs? Yes, of course they will try and do that. But I think the larger question is TikTok a national security? I say yes. Next, why is it a national security threat? Well, one of the reasons why is because of all of the massive amount of data that it can collect on US citizens. And what can you do with that data? Well, you can use it to train artificial intelligence algorithms and then resell that. And if you start training on US citizens at a very young age, well, you can use that in a way as a form of espionage. If you resell that to someone else, that data becomes very valuable to other people. So there is a lot at play here. This is not just talk about free speech. This really is much greater. The stakes are very high when it comes to national security and the future of this app.
Well, you know what, 150 million Americans or maybe more are on TikTok. TikTok provides revenue stream opportunities for musical artists when people add their music to their videos. People also shop on TikTok Shop. So the TikTokers, I don't know if they call themselves that, but I'm going to, they don't seem to be concerned with security issues. So with I think 30 days until inauguration, this will fall on President Trump's desk. So what should he do about TikTok?
Well, this is a very interesting question that you asked, because originally Trump was a few years ago really saying what I just said, which is that this was a national security threat and it should be banned. Now there are murmurs that perhaps he's changing his tune on some of this. Is he meeting with executive?
Well,
Where is he going to land on this?
Hang on, Kris, not rumors that he's on record saying that, he's kind of okay with TikTok. Now, as far as meetings he's having, I don't have details on that, but he's now on record with that. But I see where you're going with that. So you're saying that you're not sure how he might handle the TikTok situation. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah. And I was saying murmurs, not rumors, but murmurs around. But
murmurs.
Yes.
Thank you. I couldn't hear you. Thank you for clarifying that. That's better, murmurs than rumors. We don't like rumors.
Yes.
All right, let's talk AI. Let's talk AI, Kris, and particularly the chips needed to develop cutting-edge AI. So China has the supply of the world's most advanced chips, but reportedly they're still about 5 years behind the top end of the market. So, should the U.S. do anything more to take advantage of this, or is it still a given that the U.S. and Western partners will retain the chip-making lead?
Well, so I think when it comes to AI and where things are headed under a new administration, I would say nothing is a given right now. That's part of the problem with the age of digital warfare powered by AI that we are entering into. Fundamentally, this is going to be a competition over compute. Who has the most compute? And how do we get that? And how can the U.S. win the age of AI and have that dominance? Now, what we're going to see, I think, is Trump roll back some of what the Biden administration put in place in terms of executive orders on AI, as well as anything using the words AI safety, which is typically code word, in my opinion, for censorship. So the Trump administration, where they stand, or where I believe they stand on AI policy, will be taking the guardrails off. More innovation, more let's move fast and break things, which is typical in Silicon Valley.
Okay, so let me clear some things up here as I understand it and help our audience understand. So President Biden has imposed limitations on the advanced chips that some companies can export to China, which could send China to the black market for these advanced chips. So where would this leave the U.S. and U.S. chip makers?
Where would it lead us? I think it would lead us in a very challenging situation. It's a little bit, I want to be careful commenting on this because we just don't know exactly what Trump is going to do. And so there is what Biden may do, and then what Trump could come in and reverse. For example, we have in New York right now, there's a pending deal on the line with Micron for an investment over the next few decades of, I believe, up to $100 billion for advanced manufacturing that is tied to the CHIPS Act here. It is unclear the future of that. So you have all of these deals, similar to what you're saying. You're bringing up one, but there are so many at play. And in order to remain competitive, some of those details are not really out there yet.
And we'll close with this one because I get it. It's still it really is still kind of the wild west as it comes to this stuff. But listen, so most of the chips used to fuel AI development, I think they're called accelerator chips, they're designed in the U.S., fabricated in Taiwan, and China wants to invade Taiwan. So because of this, what scenario could President-elect Trump have to contend with, and how might he handle it?
Well, he has a different perspective on this in terms of what he wants to do with tariffs and what could end up being a trade war. In order to maintain dominance, what Trump would have to do is bring all of that back to America, not just the manufacturing, the end-to-end process from start to finish is what he would have to do. Again, I think those details are still in the works, but if I can, that's all I'll say for now.
Okay, that's good. I understand. I understand. And I appreciate your analysis on this. It was a lot, a lot of unknowns. I get it. But in the meantime, we'll say goodbye for now. We'll see you next time, Kris Ruby. Thank you very much.